Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Redmi Note 10s after 1 month of hard use. I'm going to be reviewing this, how good is the durability, how long does the battery life last, the cameras, all that stuff, the screen, the scratches, all that. How is this thing after 1 month of use? So if you're looking about, you want to see, you're trying to get this phone and you want to see how good this thing will last over a course of a month, it is the video for you. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so starting off with the design, this one it's like one of the things that you're gonna buy in a phone. You want to see how good the design is. So for this one, it looks pretty good. The design, it's that you have some text here, you have your stuff, say not throw it away, and over here you have your plastic rails, which are plastic. So not a big deal. In budget phones, plastic is more durable than glass and metal, so that is really good. The back finish is kind of frosted here. It's a really nice frost. It kind of makes a sound. So it is really nice plastic frosted rail, so it doesn't collect fingerprints, so it's really good. And you have an IR blaster, which is really good, a top speaker, and then you have over here you have a SIM card slot which supports extendable storage and dual SIM cards. That's really good. Here you have nothing. You have a headphone jack, a mic, a USB-C port, another speaker, and then you have your power on button, which also doubles as a fingerprint reader. Really good. And they have your volume up buttons, which are pretty good, and they are pretty good to use, and they are really good, I guess. You have your hole punch cutout, which is fairly small. The Note 10 Pro, there's a Note 10, Note 10s, Note 10 Pro has a smaller hole punch cutout with a less chin, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And then that's about it going around the phone. Then you have your speaker grill on top, which looks pretty good, and it's a really loud speaker. And then you have yourself a good little chin, which is not that good, but in a budget phone, it's like, it's a budget phone. It's not, the chin isn't really that nice. I don't really like it that much, but hey, budget phone, that's what you have to deal with. The IR blaster is also for controlling a TV. So inside you have Mi Control, I think that's how you say it. I think it's Mi Remote. And for that you can control your Samsung TV. You can go into an app, and then you can just do that. So that is really cool. And the design, it is really good overall. It's a really nice B. It's holding up very well. As you can see, thinness, it is okay. It's not that thin, but hey, it's pretty fun. It is actually really light to touch. It's really light. So that's really good. And as for the screen, it's a 6.4 inch, which is really good. It's 20:9 aspect ratio, so it's a little bit of a if you want 20:9 phones and nice tall phones, this is really one for you. It's really good. And it's an AMOLED display, so that's really good. 1080p display, 60 hertz, so it is very sharp, very nice. And the 1080p is plain sharp. It's 409 pixels per inch. Really good. Sadly, this is not 60. It's 90 hertz. I would have loved to see 90 hertz in this, or even 120. 120 you get on the Pro model. So I wish it had 90 hertz, but we didn't really get that. That would have been really cool. But it's with 1080p screen, 60 hertz, and a 5,000 mAh battery. This phone is really good in the battery department. It is really good. This is high brightness all the time, max use. And auto brightness here, you can pick up to 1100 nits of max brightness, which is really good for a budget phone and outdoors. It can get very bright. And the battery life is good. Since it's 60 hertz and not 90 or 120, the battery life can actually last very long. So that's really good. My grandma's power usage, she's high brightness, all screen on time. She has tons of apps in the background, as you can clearly see here. She has tons of apps in the background, so that is really good. I think you can, since this has 6 gigs of RAM, you can technically pin this into storage, I think. So that is really cool. I think you can pin into storage, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see about that. And overall, this screen is really good. It still has a little bit of a bezel over here with the chin. The Note 10 Pro has a little bit lesser chin, so yeah, but still, I mean, it's still a really good display. It is really nice, very good. So overall, this is a really good display, really good for watching videos. You can control the saturation and all that stuff, which is really cool. In the display settings, you can go to color scheme, and you have saturated, which is what my grandma wants, and then you have vivid. You have standard, and then you can have a control wheel here for your color. So that is really cool. And yeah, and then you have a Google Discover page on the left hand side, which is really cool. So yeah, and the specs on this thing are MediaTek Helio G95, weird name. That's the chip inside, which is equal to Snapdragon 725G. 6 gigs of RAM. You can go up to 8 gigs of RAM and 56 gigs of storage, but this one has 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So far, it's been a very good phone. It's been fast. It is okay. It's not as fast as some, but it's really good for what you get. It's a budget phone. It is really nice and sharp. I've heard people say they have some severe frame drops while playing some games. But if you're playing like Asphalt 9, some heavily graphic demanding games, that will happen because it's a budget phone. It's $230, I think $169, so it is pretty cheap for a phone. So gaming, this is playing just like a casual game, like from coin things like Subway Surfers, stuff like that. Just like casual games that don't require that much heavy usage. You'll be probably fine. Playing something more heavy like PUBG, stuff like that, it won't really work. You can play it, but it'll probably run hot and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really recommend, and I wouldn't recommend this one if you're a gamer for long term. You'll probably just have to upgrade to another phone in a year or so, because you're gonna be so not gonna be that happy for playing heavy games. But for casual gamers, it's pretty good. Let's get a little one to your touch when you're watching videos and shooting videos on the camera. But so far it's so good, and this thing has supports 33-watt fast charging, which is really good. So yeah, this thing could top off in 1 hour. Just you can go 0 to 50 in 30 minutes and 0 to 100 in 56 minutes. So it is a really good phone. So the battery, it's fine. Multitasking is really good. It can hold apps and RAM for long days, so that's really good. You can hold apps and RAM. You also have MIUI's dark mode, which looks really sick. It's pretty cool. And then you have all the other Xiaomi features. The software is actually really good. Kind of like Xiaomi's software. It's pretty nice, smooth, pretty good. Animations are pretty smooth. I actually think this looks like 90 hertz. The animations are just super smooth, going up, just doing this and looking at that and just going the animations are pretty smooth on this phone, which is really good. And so the performance is okay. It could be a little bit. I wish it had 732G in it, which has the 10 Pro, or maybe the 10 Pro should have gotten a 765G. But it's fine for what you get. This is a $669 phone, so the cheapest you can go, but without taking too many trade-offs. So that is really good. So now let's get into the cameras. One of the many things that in a budget phone you don't really expect to be that great, because you have great screen, great battery, great performance, okay performance, low cost, cut down cameras, right? Well, on this phone, it's a little bit different. This one actually has some pretty decent cameras. So let's start off with the specs of these cameras. It has a quad camera system. A 64 megapixel main camera is shooting 20 megapixel shooters by default. A megapixel ultra wide, 8 megapixels, 2 megapixel macro, and 2 megapixel depth sensor. So for the macro, it's actually kind of fun. You have to toggle it on the settings, and it actually is kind of fun. You could get super close up to subjects, and it actually is pretty fun. But it's 2 megapixels, and why do you actually need 2 megapixels? It just doesn't make sense. And it's 2 megapixels. It's not that good. And for the depth sensor, it's not even it's useless, because it's a depth sensor. You can toggle it on or off like the macro. And for depth sensing, it's supposed to make better portrait shots in theory, right? But no, this thing doesn't do that good. I would really wish that they can take out the depth sensor, which is this one, by the way. No, it's actually this one. And then they could switch it out and maybe implement 90 hertz on this phone. That would have been a pretty good trade-off. But hey, that's what you get. It's okay. The photos from this thing are actually pretty good. They are really good photos. They turn out really nice, crisp, and sharp. Shooting out 20 megapixel photos by default. Just actually pretty good. And the ultra wide, it is immediately soft. It is so noticeable, the softness, that you actually think it's like what happened, like something happened. It has no telephoto camera, but you do have a two times crop factor, digital crop, which is what it's basically doing is cropping in from the actual photo from the 1x from the main camera, and then cropping in a little bit more, and it actually is turning out some pretty good results. Not the best, but it's also actually pretty good. So you have that, and you have HDR, AL, and all that stuff. You have macro mode and all that stuff, and then you also have portrait mode, which is actually pretty good. I like portrait mode on this thing. It looks pretty good. You can scale the portrait mode all the way up or down. For this shots, I'm doing f2.0, and the portrait shots are actually pretally good. They're really nice, sharp, crisp, and that's really good. And for the 64 megapixel shooter, this thing is really good. I can actually, it says when you turn it on, it says 64 megapixel Ultra HD is on, and yes, you can definitely notice some better results. I definitely did notice better results. It literally says Ultra HD mode turning on as you zoom into the phone, and it does make it, and it's way crispier. I can actually tell, and it is very good to have that. And it's very good to have that, and it's really good. You also have a night sight mode, which is I haven't tested it out. I have seen it, and it's kind of okay. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. Slow motion on the other hand is it's not the greatest. It's 720p. You can go up to 96 400. Let me just 120 frames, 240 frames, or 960 frames per second. That's really crazy, but I'm not doing that. You have more. You have panorama. You have short video, and then you can just edit your stuff there. As for the photos, they turn out really good. You also have a pro mode, which you have raw photos. You have lens. It's just you have ISO, shutter speed, all that stuff. So that's really good having a pro mode there, which is pretty cool. And for the photos, they actually do turn out pretty good. The 12 megapixel one it's okay. 64 megapixel one is really good. And for video, this has 4K video, 30 frames per second max. So, and you also have macro video mode. For some reason, I'm not really gonna use that, but it is really good. Here's a sample of the video. So right here, this is the test clips for the 4K video. This 30 FPS. It looks pretty good, I guess. Kind of exposing a little bit too much and exposing stuff like that. You can go up to 10x. I mean 6x soon. My bad. On the video, but then what does it even do? It automatically just goes back to changing it. So it's not the greatest, but it is okay. As you saw there, the footage turned out pretty good, right, from the phone. The main camera did a way better job than the ultrawide. The ultrawide is only 8 megapixels, not even 12. So you can definitely see a step down in the ultrawide. But it does a good job in making the whole dramatic field of view. It's a whole dramatic thing, field of view. So it does. I will give it that. So yeah, the camera is pretty good on this phone. Not the greatest, not the best, but it does the job fairly well. And one thing that I wish this had more was it had an actual really good night sight. Maybe make it a 12 megapixel ultrawide, take out the depth sensor, and turn it 90 hertz on this phone. That would have been very cool, but no, we don't have that, sadly. The pro mode is actually pretty good. You have some raw photos here, which is pretty good for like editing later. But yeah, that's about it. And also, turning off the cameras. The selfie camera, it is okay. It's kind of bad, not the best, but I mean, it does the job. It's 20 megapixels, but it doesn't really seem like 20 megapixels. Seems more like 10 or 12. It's not that good. I have HDR turned on all the times, which makes the photos look very nice and sharp. Video is always 4K 30 FPS. And you also have movie frame. You can digital crop on video, which makes it to still 4K. Still make it pretty sharp, but still, it's a pretty good video camera for vlogging, all that stuff. It is okay. And as usual for Xiaomi, they have tons of bloatware in their things. You have look how much apps you have here. That's just not that great. You have Facebook, Amazon, WPS Office, LinkedIn installed right away. Like, why do you need those apps? You're gonna have Facebook, but like, why do you need Amazon, WPS Office, all that stuff installed? Like, why do you need that? It just doesn't make any sense. You also have Messenger installed. Wish, why? Yeah, and then you have let me see what else you have. You have Google Deal. You have Kawaii. How do you say that? I forgot how you say the app name. I forgot how to say it. I don't know. Well, whatever Kawaii thing as you say it. I deleted it though. You have Google News. You have Wish. All that stuff. And the software is actually a pretty good experience. So, photography. You have Google Photos for yourself. You also have your gallery, which is Xiaomi's own form of gallery, which is actually pretty good. Not that bad. Still, it's just like why did it happen? It's not that good of a bloatware system. You have PUBG, Subway Surfers. Why? Is it that for customization though? It is very good. You also have Netflix. Why? Customization though is really good. You have some pretty cool wallpapers. You have some tons of features. And with MIUI 12.5, you have color scheme. You can change the color of your display. All that stuff. You have reading mode. You have auto rotate screen. You have text size. You have anti-flicker mode, which is really good. So with the regular, you can probably see some bands on the display here. So let me just go here. It's gonna be like in B-roll, but DC dimming is really good on this display, so that is really good. So for dimming, it's like when you're playing a game in low light, it won't like dim the screen that much. So that is really good for that. I love it. Wallpapers are pretty good. You can custom theme your device, all that stuff. I would definitely do wallpapers from Xiaomi because they have like categories, and then you go to MIUI, and then you have HD wallpapers, which is pretty cool. You have quotes, rain, texture, green plant, but I'm going to go to MIUI, and they have some pretty cool wallpapers here. The one I chose most, probably like this one, probably this one. It's not that sharp, but it is actually pretty cool. So I would definitely choose that one, or even that one, because it looks pretty good. So yeah, so MIUI has plenty of features. Overall, this phone is actually pretty good. For what you get, the battery life is insane. Supports Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.0, and NFC. And this thing doesn't support NFC though, sadly. You have some pretty good widgets that have you pretty good customization here. You have some widgets here. You have all of these widgets from all the apps, so that is really good. And then you have added widget, and then you have all these stuff for airplane mode and all that stuff. So that is really cool. And the notification center is actually really cool. It's kind of like iPhones for like the brightness scroller, which is pretty good. And added brightness, all that. It's pretty good. So that's about it. This phone definitely worth your money, and battery life still holds up really well. I got a little bit of my grandma got a little bit of a gash on the phone here, like a little scrape. We took the screen protector off, so yeah, it does do that sometimes. But overall, very good phone. Really love it. 169 bucks, so that's pretty good for 120 gigs of storage. We only use like 30 gigs so far, so that is really good. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my review after 1 month of use. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.